this video, learn crucial tips for surviving the zombie apocalypse and finding safety. Adapt and overcome. Let's start. First day. On the first day of the infection, you will hear on television news about a new highly contagious disease with symptoms similar to rabies. It is at that precise moment that you must realize that a zombie apocalypse is about to begin. From this moment on, the most important characteristic to survive is the ability to adapt quickly to changes. The smartest ones will run to the supermarket to buy essential goods and long-lasting food. You must be among them. Remember that water is also part of the necessities list, as groundwater may already be contaminated. You need to buy bottled water, canned food, batteries, candles and lighters, vitamin supplements, antibiotics and bandages, seeds. Medicine and bandages will be needed in case of accidental injuries to prevent infections. The seeds should mainly produce plants capable of surviving cold temperatures. The vitamin supplements will come in handy when you have limited access to fruits and vegetables. Batteries, candles, and lighters will become necessary as the power supply will not last long without workers at power plants. After completing this shopping, it will be time to find a safe place. If panic breaks out among the masses and the infection spreads rapidly, lock yourselves at home, preferably on higher floors, and do not go out for any reason. From this moment on, avoid making noise, limit lighting, and stay calm. First week. Now, every door is closed, and electricity is still available. But you don't know how long it will last, and outside, you hear screams and shouts. It is essential to understand that all those people are doomed, and you can't do anything to help them. So everyone must think about themselves. Ignore any requests for help. Unfortunately, human laws and morality collapse when civilization ends. There is no society anymore. Only you and those who are part of your small group of survivors remain. Having said that, another rule to survive is rationing food. Divide the supplies equally, daily providing proteins, carbohydrates, and fats to reach at least 1,500 kilocalories. Speak quietly, keep the TV volume low to stay updated on the progress of the epidemic, and pass the time by planning your next moves. Search for a new shelter. Several days have passed, and you are wondering when you can go out. Well, when the electricity goes out, and for days, you no longer hear screams outside your shelter, it means the infection has reached such contagious levels that it has wiped out most of the population in your country, and perhaps the world. This silence is the signal. Now you can leave your house and embark on the journey to a safer place. But where? Generally, safety lies in the mountains. Specifically, the place should be isolated in a cold area and close to a water source, as bottled water won't last forever, and rainwater may not be enough. The ideal is a remote and self-sufficient cabin. In the surroundings, you will surely find wood and water. Moreover, you can drink melted snow. The major advantages of the mountains are the cold, which can make it difficult for the virus to survive, the challenging landscape for zombies to traverse, the strategic position, but above all, general isolation. As we know, zombies are attracted to movement and noise, so no noise means no zombies. However, be careful. In the shelter, you will only stay during the warm months. During the cold months, you will need to descend to a lower altitude and use another dwelling. The reason is the cold. Spending winter in a shelter, buried under deep snow, can be very dangerous, and obtaining food becomes challenging. So when the snow reaches lower altitudes, find another shelter. These two locations will also allow you to grow plants and vegetables with the seeds you bought at the beginning of the pandemic. In the shelter downstream, fruits and vegetables will grow in summer, which, with great caution, you can collect at the end of the season or during some quick raids. The shelter upstream will still allow you to grow tubers and vegetables capable of surviving fairly low temperatures. To reach the mountains, you need to get transportation. The vehicle should be large, high, and powerful. A hammer would be ideal, but any Jeep or off-road vehicle will do, as long as it can run over all the disgusting zombies that get in your way. Once you find a suitable vehicle, you can move on to the next phase, gathering. The gathering. The goal is to collect everything you need to survive away from what remains of society. Camping tents and sleeping bags, hunting knives, ropes, torches, axes, new supplies of food and water. heavy clothes, sporting armor, camping stoves, shovels, fishing hooks and bait, soaps, toothpaste, and toothbrushes. To gather all this, you will necessarily have to face zombies. So, it is time to use weapons. But what weapons? Any object can serve as a weapon. What you need is a sharp or pointed object capable of stabbing zombies. Knives and hammers are also good if used correctly, but objects to use from a safe distance to avoid getting bitten would be preferable. Before going out, you need one last thing: armor. You can quickly make it using newspapers, magazines, and plenty of tape. An alternative is pillows. The important thing is to protect your legs and arms from bites. Having said that, you are ready to face the road and those who populate it. The escape. You need to visit many places, but the first one should be an armory or a police station. The goal is to get as many firearms as possible. While reaching one of these stations, avoid getting stuck in any dead-end alley or road blocked by abandoned cars. You would become an easy prey for zombies. Once you reach the place, the critical phase begins, entering a building. You must do it quickly and rationally. As we know, zombies are attracted to noise. Before entering any place, knock and wait for any guests. If there are none, enter cautiously. If there are, it's time to do some cleaning. In a fight with zombies, there are a few rules to keep in mind. Besides the obvious, don't get bitten. Aim for the head. Don't get surrounded. Use the environment. After eliminating the threat, explore the building, always leaving escape routes. You never know how many zombies might suddenly appear, so it's better not to get caught off guard. Once you find the weapons, avoid using them unless absolutely necessary. If someone is injured and exposed to the infection, take them with you for the time being, but keep an eye on them, and as soon as they start transforming, kill them. There is no place for pity in this new world. Now that you have the weapons, you can search for the rest of the things you need by passing through pharmacies, supermarkets, and sporting goods stores. However, be sure not to take unnecessary risks. Avoid, for example, exploring ice cream parlors and makeup stores. Try to do everything before sunset because it is more challenging to see zombies at night, and at the same time, you are more exposed to their attacks. After finishing the tour, you need to camp for the night. If you can return to your previous shelter, do it, but if not, make sure the place is defensible and has escape routes. Organize guard shifts and limit noise and lights. The journey. The bulk of the work is done. Now is the time to leave the cities and embrace the solitary life in the mountains. Get on your vehicle and head towards the mountains, avoiding main roads, which are crowded with abandoned cars from those who tried to escape in the midst of the apocalypse. Stop as little as possible and take turns driving. If you encounter other survivors, do not believe everything they say and do not add too many people to the group, because the more you are, the more challenging it is to maintain control of the situation. Other survivors can be more dangerous than the zombies themselves. The fact that they are still alive shows their intelligence and adaptability, as well as their cruelty. Like you, they are willing to do anything to survive, so it's better not to trust them. Travel during the day and seek safe shelters at night. Gasoline won't last long, and you are unlikely to find it at gas stations. Take it from other cars if you can, or abandon your vehicle and look for another one in good condition immediately. The worst thing you can do is wander on foot, so avoid it as much as possible. Never take anything for granted. Examine every corner, and if your instinct tells you to leave or not to go through certain places, trust it. Once you reach the mountains, you just need to explore the place, but never alone. The shelter. Settle into your new shelter and make it safe. Place weapons at every window in preparation for a possible attack and maintain guard shifts. After the initial settling days, it's time to divide tasks. Someone must focus on gathering. Get used to always carrying a hunting knife and a whistle with you, useful for signaling imminent dangers to the group. In the woods around you, you will find sources of food to use with caution. Don't eat anything unless you are absolutely certain it's not poisonous. Someone should also be dedicated to cultivation. Organize a vegetable garden and cultivate plants carefully, as your life will largely depend on them. Canned food is not unlimited, and every time you leave the shelter, it could be the last. Wash yourself carefully and regularly because prevention is your only defense. If someone is capable, engage in hunting as well. Meat is essential for survival, but be careful, as animals might be infected too. Don't rush and make sure not to eat infected meat. For safety, cook it thoroughly. After organizing your small society this way, stay in your shelter until the next season. Final notes. It has been a few years since the zombie apocalypse. By now, you have established a routine and life is peaceful. It's time to take a few more steps. The number of zombies has certainly decreased because, unable to reproduce, their numbers cannot have increased. Most of them should have died of starvation since they no longer have humans to eat, and animals are not easy prey for beings lacking intelligence. Now you need to get a radio capable of transmitting both high and low frequencies. Use it to gather information and find out if any remnants of civilization still exist or if new settlements have formed. In that case, contact the survivors and join them. You cannot live alone in the mountains forever, and you probably miss many comforts that only a society can provide. If not, start moving. Expand your group by adding new members, and when you have enough, occupy a village. Clear it of surviving zombies and first of all, establish a dictatorship or an oligarchy. From here on, it's up to you to decide how to proceed. Remember these strategies for a chance at survival. Stay strong, united, and ready to face the unknown in this new world. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found it informative, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Feel free to leave a comment below, and be sure to stay tuned for more exciting videos coming your way.